So the first thing I'm going to do, and for all of you who wonder where the accessibility menu is, so you need to go to the settings, right? And the settings will look like this gray square, and it will have the settings word underneath, and you just need to tap in there. And when you tap in there, right, it will present the information of the iPad, but you also have a variety of options. If you scroll down the bottom on your left side, and the option I'm gonna look today is called accessibility, okay? I'm going to tap in that option. And when I tap in that option, in accessibility, you will find different features that can help you customize your iPad for your individual needs. Some of the things you can change are related to vision, physical features, and hearing as well. So if you have any particular needs that you need to address, you will refer to either of these options. Today, I'm gonna review just a few of them because the menu is quite extensive, but I hope that the ones I review, you can find those helpful. So the first one I will explore is one is called Voiceover. And I'm going to tap in that one. And when I tap in that one, I will be taken here, right? And the Voiceover, what it does is speak to you when you select something. If you are enabling this option, that is exactly what it's going to do. So for example, when I go to the Voiceover, you will notice how there is this toggle bar on the right side. And a toggle bar is basically this circular button that can be moved to the left if it's disabled, move to the right when you enable the option. When you tap in there, right? So now you tap in there, every single time you tap in an option, there will be a voice associated to. Sometimes we just happen to be tapping over options in our iPad, but we don't really know where we are. So the Voiceover, what it does is speak to us as we tap in options. And if you want to know how the option works or how you navigate, say, what happened when you tap once, what happened when you type twice, you just select the option Learn More. And it will give you kind of an overview or details of how the interaction with this particular feature works. When you tap in an item, you will select the item, but it doesn't mean that you actually selecting the option. If you want to activate the option or select that particular item, you will have to do a double tapping. And also you can swipe 3 fingers to scroll. So that is mainly the commands of the Voiceover. Whenever you are in an option, you will notice also that at the top, right, that accessibility button in a blue looking color is presented, and it's also showing like an arrow pointing to the left. You can go back and it will take you to the main menu of accessibility. So the first option I explore is called Voiceover, but you also have Zoom. And if you tap in Zoom, and when I refer to tap, notice how there is these tiny arrows on the right side, right? Those are the options you need to tap, the ones that say off and present that little arrow on the right side. Tap in there. And here, I have the ability to actually see my screen bigger using kind of a magnifying glass in the screen that will present itself such as little square. So I'm gonna tap in that option. I'm gonna tap in there. And again, when you use these kind of things, these are called toggle bars, okay? A toggle bar will present in green when it's enabled and will be in gray when it's disabled. So that is a difference that you should know. So now that I activate the Zoom, you will notice how this tiny window is showing up at the bottom left corner of my screen, right? This option right here looks like a little square, right? And what I'm doing here at this point is tapping in this little rectangle that it has like an oval shape and holding my finger over there and moving to the different options. And you see how it increased the exposition of the letter. So you actually can see it bigger, right? And depending on where you want to go, you will either move your finger holding it in the screen to the top, to the right, to the bottom, to the left, right? That is how you can see things bigger. I want to go to the right. I'm not letting my finger go at all. I'm just holding my finger the whole time in the screen in this particular shape, the oval shape that this square is presenting. So that is what I'm doing. You want to stop using this option and you want to leave it in this particular part. You will let your finger go and that won't move. You can still using the options, but that particular option require that you just hold your finger in this tiny oval thing right here. If you want to disable that option, you can just go back to the toggle bar, tap in there. As soon as you do that, that square disappears. So that's zoom. I'm going back to accessibility. And here you also have a very good tool. And I'm going to tap in magnifier. And what the magnifier does is basically lets you use your device camera to quickly magnify your surroundings. I'm going to do a demonstration of that so you will see how it works. I'm going to activate that. And as soon as I activate that, keep in mind what the screen is presenting to you. When enable, magnifier or the magnifier will appear on your home screen. So that's what I need to do next. I need to go to my home screen to actually see that magnifier that I just activated. If it happens to you, what happened to me, that you don't find that in the first screen of your iPad, say for example, this is my first screen, please slide your finger softly from right to left to see the next screen so you can see the magnifier. And what the iPad did for me, it creates this shortcut, right? So I can access to that particular feature. After I will just point at the thing that I'm trying to show. You see how it increases the size? It helped me find things in my surroundings. You want to reduce that size, you can just go back slowly and it will go slowly back to the regular size of that item. So that is the magnifier. You want to get out of here, you can just tap in your home button and it will take you back to your screen. As I mentioned, when you use this particular option, it will create or present itself in the form of an application or a shortcut. So that is the magnifier. I'm going back to my settings. And another thing to keep in mind, whenever you are navigating something and that window is still open, you can refer to your dock, which is this one right here. Tap in the settings, which is the last thing I was reviewing, tap in there, and it will take you to the application. So I'm going to accessibility once more, and I'm going to tap in accessibility from my left side, and I already explored voiceover, zoom, and the magnifier. The next thing I find very helpful as well is the display and text size. Here, the second option you will see is larger text. And you can just tap what it says on, means I have that option already enabled. The difference with regular size and larger size is to adjust that size to be bigger than the regular one the tablet would have with the initial setting. So when I move to this bar in this white circle, tapping and holding, I'm moving from left to right, and as I move, my text will also increase. So this option allows you to increase your text even more so than the regular one the iPad comes with. That is the reason why it's in accessibility. I want to go back to display and text size. I can just tap at the top in that blue letter. And I can also select the option bold text. That is display and text size. So I'm going back to accessibility. And I'm going to one that is very helpful and is touch. I'm going to select the option that says Assistive Touch. Tap in that particular one, And the assistive touch is kind of your ability to navigate your tablet without doing much of swiping, scrolling, because you will have a menu that combines all the main features of your iPad. When I enable this option, I'm gonna tap here. Soon as I do that, you will notice how this tiny square come up in the screen. And this square is presenting for me at this bottom part on the right side. You can really tap and hold, and you can place it anywhere in the screen. I'm gonna place it right here so you can see how it works. I'm gonna tap over, and when I tap over, it will show the first couple menus that I can navigate my iPad with. For example, you want to go to your notification center, just tap in notification center, and it will show your notifications, right? Without you actually swiping from the top of the screen to the bottom. Using the assistive touch, you will be able to be taken here. If you want to clear your notification, remember you can swipe from right to left, and there will be an option that says clear. You can just tap in clear, and you can clean your notifications. You want to go to another menu, you can just tap in the assistive touch once more. And after, you can just go to the control center, and it will display your control center. Tap in the assistive touch once more, and you can go to your device. And here it will show things such as the lock screen option, rotate screen, lock screen rotation, the more menu, volume up, volume down. And if you happen to see 3 horizontal dots, such as the case for me, you can just tap in there, and it will allow to do a few other options, including the app switcher. So the app switcher, whenever you are navigating applications, will be the place that you go to see what applications you have open. Sometimes it takes this time. That is my app switcher. So the app switcher is basically when applications are not closed, they are minimized. And this is the place when you will be taken when you select the app switcher. You want to use that assistive touch once more. Now, instead of the control center or the notification center or the device one, you can go to home, tap in home, and there you are. So the last part is where it will take me. You want to disable this because you actually like to use your finger more and swipe and slide. You can disable by just tapping again, and that little square button will disappear from your screen. I find this one quite helpful, to be honest, but it's really up to you. So I'm going to select in the touch option, right? And I will be taken back into the assistive touch, which is where I start everything. Tap in accessibility, and I'm going now to voice control. And when I tap in voice control, before I select anything, I want you to see this. When you are selecting an option and you don't know what that option is going to do once you enable, look for the menu or the phrase that says learn more, tap in that option, and it will allow you to see what is that option does. So the voice control, use your voice to do things on your iPad, even when you are not connected to the internet. Systems, commands, and navigation. And if you scroll down, it will show the things that it can do. You can select continue to move forward. And after, it will give you the example of the commands you can use when you enable the option, so that the iPad does whatever you are asking the iPad to do. So you have system, commands, and navigation. You also have work with what's on the screen. You have dictate and edit text. This is especially helpful when you are writing in your email. And you have interaction. This is very helpful, actually. If you have complete or finished reading this, just remember a few of these commands you actually can try it on your own. And that's exactly what I'm going to do now. So I'm gonna select done. And I'm going to tap in voice control to activate, right? When I activate that option, right, it will show me kind of this small microphone on the top. And that's how I know that option is working. So for example, I will say, go home. There you are. So see, when I say go home, the tablet will take me here. The thing with this option, you need to actually know the command, otherwise it won't work as well. So let me go to the commands once more so I can try another command. Turn up the volume. Take a screenshot. You see how it takes the screenshot and it's placing it right in the corner. Open Apple Play. Open Siri. You are, Siri is open right there. Open Control Center. There you are, right? Go home. You are. And if you don't know the commands that you need to give to the tablet, you always can come here. And you can also write this down if there is certain things you want to try out with the voiceover. I'm going to tap in accessibility once more. And I went to the voice control. If I keep going to the bottom, so I was in the physical and motor option. From this part also you have the home button, and there is other things that you can control here. So you can decide what things are enabled once you press and hold the button. So for example, when I press and hold, Siri is humming. But if you want to press and hold and don't want Siri to come up, you can tap in off and that will disable Siri. But when I tap and hold my tablet home button, it will come up with Siri because it's enabled. You are? You want to disable, tapping off. You can also decide the click speed, how fast you want the tablet to select an option. So you can adjust the speed right to the require to double or triple click depending on what is that you want to do. So that is the home button. You can go back to accessibility. And at the bottom part, you also have hearing devices. If you have any hearing devices here, you can match your devices with your iPhone or your iPad in this particular case. And here you can also improve the audio quality with some of the hearing aids in case you use one. And it's as simple as selecting here, tap at the top. So I already went to hearing devices. The sound recognition, this is very helpful as well. And if you tap in sound recognition, your iPad will listen for certain sounds and using on-device intelligence, and it will notify you when a sound can be recognized. I have it enabled now, but if I go to sounds, just tap in there, it will display all the things that the iPad can recognize. Keep in mind that when things in this particular part are enabled, Siri will be disabled because Siri also uses recognition or voice recognition to do what she does. So in the case, you can decide what sounds you want the iPad to recognize and give you a notification for. So you have sirens, smoke, fire, cat, dog, appliances, and whenever you select, right, look what is presenting, it will ask you and it will give you the information that Siri is not available to work while you use the sound recognition. If you want to continue ahead, it's as simple as tapping what it says turn on recognition, and that option would be enabled. So you can select what options you want. You can activate the doorbell in the case you want the iPad to recognize that, send you a notification in the case you don't hear somebody's actually at your door. This is also an option. You have baby crying, shouting, and even coughing. So all these things can be enabled, and it's as simple as tapping over the option. When you see that option in a green looking color, that option is enabled, right? And at this point, my Siri is disabled because I choose to use the sound recognition as opposed to the voice recognition. And that is sound recognition. I'm going back to accessibility. And here you have also subtitles and captioning. And the subtitles and captioning, what they do, whenever there is applications available and can match the iPad technology to put captions in the screen, they will be able to show that. You can decide what style you want the captions to be. You can tap in a style, for example, and it will allow you to recognize or select what type of subtitle you want to see. Right, we'll start with transparent in the background, large text, classic outline text. Can go back to subtitles and captioning, accessibility. And to finalize, if at any point you need any guiding access, you can go here to this particular part, and it will keep the iPad in a single app and allows you to control which features are available. And you can just, keep personalizing your iPad as you want. When you select that option, it will give you a variety of options at the bottom part that you can change. For example, the passcode settings, time limits, accessibility shortcut, and a few other options. So you can personalize the iPad as you want, right? So it's more guided to your needs.